Hey gamers and goblins, my name's Cara and welcome to my Homeworld 3 sponsored series. Yes, these videos are really being paid for by Gearbox. Thank you a bunch to them for that. Homeworld 3 is out now on PC. You can play it today by using my link in the description to buy it on Steam or the Epic Game Store. But you're only allowed to if you're a nerd like me. Otherwise, you're banned. I'm just kidding. Today we're going to talk about the plot, the lore of Homeworld 3. You might be wondering what the setting is, what the environment is. I covered it a little bit in the first video in this series, but only as an overview spoiler light version. This video obviously is going to involve very heavy spoilers. So this is your warning if you don't want to be completely spoiled by the campaign. This is not the video for you. But you just want to skip the campaign cutscenes, you just want to play the missions, but you don't really want to watch the character drama that is Homeworld 3, which I totally get. The writing is a little bit clunky. If you'd rather just skip the cutscenes and sorta still understand what's going on, then I totally understand, and I'll do my best to explain everything about the Homeworld lore and the Homeworld 3 story that you find in the campaign. Our story begins on the planet Cara. Cara is a barren desert planet home to the Kushan people. They're constantly infighting over resources and things like that. It's a pretty bad existence. And then Rachel Sijet discovers a hyperspace core in like a cave or something and a map to HeyCara. The Kushan unite and spend like 100 years building a mothership to transport 600,000 people to HeyCara. Also, to pilot ships, you get plugged into them like it's the Matrix. You get like cables like running all out of you. It's kind of crazy. But then they get attacked by an empire called the Taidan. The Taidan Empire were the people who originally exiled the Kushan 4,000 years ago to Karak. They get attacked very heavily. Karak is devastated. Like, you see the planet being glassed, basically. Everyone on the surface dies. So they get as many people as they can onto the mothership. They sort of evacuate, and then they take the fight to the Taidan, where they successfully defeat the Taidan Empire. They lead the mothership to HeyCara, they reclaim the planet as theirs, then afterwards they become the Hegarians once more. Afterwards, Karen Sijet, the successor to Rachel Sijet, Karen discovers two more hyperspace cores, one from the Bentusi and another one after defeating the Vaegir. After uniting all three cores aboard the progenitor mothership, the Saijuk, Karan unlocks and builds a hyperspace network. At the end of Homeworld 2, interstellar travel flourishes, there's widespread trade and cultural exchange, the galaxy enters a golden age of peace and prosperity. That's the plot of the last two games leading up to this one. Now in this game, we find out that something called the Anomaly is attacking the hyperspace network. So it's like they start destroying outposts, they start killing a lot of people, and it's deliberate too. It's clearly there's some people behind it. You have so much to lose now. Before you were just scrappy underdogs. Now you have like a lot of people to protect, and they're all dying because of the Anomaly. Karen Sijet herself investigates the Anomaly, like traveling into it to figure out what's going on and to try to stop people from dying. And then she gets killed too, presumably. She goes in there and we never see or hear from her again for like the next 20 years. In the meantime, she kind of becomes like this weird martyred prophet, sorta, like a saint that people worship. There's a lot of like weird mysticism stuff in the Homeworld universe. Like black pyramids teleporting around you, communicating with you psychically, and all sorts of weird stuff like that. 20 years after, Imogen Sijet, Karen's protege and granddaughter, takes on the mission to uncover the mystery of the Anomaly. The important thing to keep in mind is that this is a character drama. It kind of reads like a young adult novel, honestly. There's a lot of dynamics between all of them. Imogen was mentored by Karen Sijet. She remembers this lullaby from her childhood of being mentored by her. But yeah, you get strapped into this mothership. You're kind of this like genius protege. You don't really fit in too much, but like you're really smart and you can like see alternate realities. Like you're the Lazan Al-Gaib. And that's where Homeworld 3's campaign starts off from. The very first thing that happens is that you get told that your communications are cut off by Hygarian Command for their safety, which is pretty cool. So they're kind of sending you on a suicide mission out there. Your first objective is to get production facilities at Space Station 315, but the mission gets interrupted by an ambush from Kalin pirates. You sort of chase them down and then you fight them off and kill all of the Kalin pirates. You find out before they die that they're actually running from the Anomaly 2. What they were originally before they became the Kalin pirates was the remnants of the Taidan empire. So they had just been like pirates and raiders this whole time out there in space. And afterwards, you kind of go into more anomaly territory after you get led into another ambush by the people of the anomaly. And then you find out that they're called the Incarnate. They are the Queen's Will Incarnate. I love the Queen, by the way. She's so hot. But the Incarnate use ships with Sajuk markings and have a religion centered on hyperspace weaponization and navigator supremacy. It's like a cleansing type thing. It's so weird. The Incarnate, led by their queen, communicate with Imogen during hyperspace jumps. They divert their ships into ambushes like 7 times. And then you keep on going through this mission, trying to find out more about the Incarnate, trying to neutralize them. At one point, the queen asks you to join her and the Incarnate in their evil supremacist empire. You say no because morals and values or whatever. So the thing you find out is that Karen has been comatose the entire time, but still alive inside an ice asteroid that the Incarnate put her in so that the Hegarians couldn't get her 3 hyperspace cores, and so that they could replace the whole population of the galaxy with navigators, which is strange, but whatever. This all comes to a climatic confrontation where Imogen and Karen work together through the hyperspace to stop the Incarnate Queen. They overload the hyperspace cores to thwart the Queen's plans, and then Karen and the Queen sacrifice themselves by holding hands and dying together. It's strange. Yeah. That's the summary of the entire Homeworld 3 plot. Thank you to Gearbox for sponsoring this series of videos too. If you want to play the campaign but skip all the cutscenes, check out the link in the description. You can play it now and buy it on Steam or the Epic Games Store. In the next video, we'll talk about a faction guide for the skirmish mode.